And also ask if it's okay, if you aren't already, if we add you to our mailing list. And if it's not, please email Hallie Steinberg and let her know, no, I don't want to be added to the mailing list, or however you want to word that. Hey, Judy.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get going. I'm going to share my screen. So if you came for Empathy with the Enemy, I'm sorry, Empathizing with the Enemy, Holiday Edition, you were in the right place. And we already said our name and where we're calling from. We got permission to record. I'm going to give a brief overview of the Mendful app and the training curriculum. It's going to be very quick, and I'll stay on afterwards to answer more questions about that and also about the February training. And we'll also talk about briefly how today's 1 hour workshop fits in with the other 1 hour workshops and the full training. Before that, we're going to do the actual Empathizing with the Enemy exercise. We'll have a quick evaluation, Q&A, and thoughts. And then, as I mentioned, I'll stay afterwards. So that's basically what today is going to be about. The first parts are going to be quick so that we can get to the protein of
If
it, if you will.
I might not be the only one seeing this, but you have two Google Chrome notices on your screen on the right side.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know those were appearing. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep.
So the Mendful app is going to provide conflict resolution on demand. It will be human forward and AI supported. We hope to turn conflict into reconnection and prevent estrangement, cancel culture, violence, and worse. We also want to provide right livelihood and niche platform opportunities for certified coaches who work on the app. So these are some of our early screens and what they'll look like. When you download the app, it will look something like this. And then you have the opportunity to talk to a human coach or Mendy, the AI coach, or browse our library of resources, which will include videos, articles, recorded seminars, that sort of thing. It's a pretty standard engagement model. Like the first 20 minutes is free. You have different tiers of membership and so on. In terms of having a platform on the app, a Mendful coach will be able to, if they want to, pick an area of expertise. For example, these fictional characters, Jamal is focusing on friendship, supporting friends and their disconnects and helping them come back together. Michael works with men to help them connect to their hearts. And Sabra works on repairing cultural and generational disconnects between Asian moms and daughters. And if you drill down into any one of these coaches' bios, if you click, for example, full bio, you'll find a brief bio, in this case, of me, and a way to click into a video to see if you vibe with me and want to work with me if you're a client thinking about hiring one of these coaches. And also some of the things that I've done, like blog posts and seminars and that sort of thing, client feedback. And each of these sections also has a way to expand it and see more. In the session itself, we're going for a visual interface where the clients feel contained and held. Like typical calls like Zoom like this are squared off, and we're looking for something a little bit more soft feeling, and also ways for the client to let the practitioner or the coach know how they're feeling in case of neurodivergence, in case those little circles are so small you can't really see how someone's feeling, things like that. And these features of the app are being developed, and the folks who train with us starting in February to become coaches on the app, like these folks here, even though they're fictional, will have an opportunity to give feedback and help to develop these features of the app. And the approach to the core competencies training, which you'll see reflected in today's exercises, rests on a foundation of self in relation to self. How do we show up for ourselves, with ourselves, and so on? And then from there, we move into self in relation to other. And from there, we have the specific mental conflict resolution skills. So I just added this like 10 minutes before because I realized it was at the end of the uh, of the workshop, and I wanted to put it up front, and then we'll come back to it again at the end. So here's two keys and a shortcut to empathizing with the enemy, the holiday edition. And one of the keys is it only takes one person to make a conversation go well. Unfortunately, most of us always want it to be the other person and wanted to credit David Jernigan with that from reevaluation counseling. And the other key is instead of making the other person wrong, try getting curious about them in ways that move the conversation forward. I want to thank Asia Davis of the Human Potential Project for that. And the shortcut is, and we can try this all together, and then we'll try it again at the end. If you come away with one thing, I want you to come away with this, and that's if somebody says something to you that really triggers you, and you just want to fight or run away or cry or something other than engage with them, I want you to try this to lean your head to the side, frown slightly, lean into them and go, huh, can you tell me more about that? So let's try that right now. So it's faking it. It is faking it, but it's faking it, kind of till you make it instead of doing the thing that would cause the disconnect. So can we try that?
Mhm.
Huh.
Huh.
You
Can you
tell
tell
me
me more about that?
Tell me more about that. Yeah. Okay, great. So we're gonna have that in your back pocket in case in the moment you forget everything, you're so triggered. You can always if you remember to, you can use that as a way to get to the next moment without doing something that might
Sounds like
otherwise disconnect. Okay. Two keys and a shortcut. We'll come back to that. So
question.
let's first, sorry.
Sorry, does it matter leftwise or rightwise? Sometimes
I have
brain.
no idea.
Oh, okay, okay. Sometimes brain stuff is like that,
It can
It's up
be.
and
Yeah,
down.
I don't have the background to answer that question.
Okay,
I think of
just
it
So
a
more
good
as the
tip.
curious dog pose. Curious dog.
dogs can turn their heads in way. I can't quite get that far. Then you might add humor to the situation. So one thing that for me really helps is to remember my why. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to engage someone with a view very different from yours? So uh, we're going to identify that first. And then we're going to go inward and notice out loud what's happening with our own sensations and thoughts and beliefs. We're going to find our inner support system. And then we're going to lean in with curiosity, kind of like we just did. And then we'll converse like the Buddha. And then we'll practice. Simple, right? But that doesn't mean easy. So let's start with the why. I'm going to share my why. It's got many pieces to it, but yours doesn't have to. It can be just a sentence. So I want a more relaxed, functional, and happy nervous system and psyche and body for myself, especially during the holidays when people tend to indulge in alcohol or other substances, have higher rates of seasonal affective disorder, and just have kind of more feelings up around belonging and so on. I want better relationships with family and friends when we disagree, and getting through that I know can strengthen the overall relationship. And I want a better world where more of us choose connection instead of disconnection and all that goes along with that. So let's take a moment and go ahead and identify your why. Why are you here? What is this going to do for you? It doesn't have to be complex. It would just be a simple sentence, or it can even be a word like I want peace. So I want you to take a moment and write it down. And then popcorn style, if you'd like, you can share. Just take another minute, finish it up, and let's take a share or two. Why are you here?
Hello, this is Edie in Portland, Oregon. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Edie. Welcome.
I am in so much pain and grief between frantic, trying to solve problems awake all night long,
Oh,
or despair, um, and taking on too much responsibility to just say, oh, it's their fault. And so I'm hoping that for the upcoming Thanksgiving, I will have a either better peaceful, loving anticipation so I can better pray before then, and or hopefully also um, good relating and good energy dealing with some very volatile, autistic, upset people, and to
Mm.
repair a relationship with that I thought was going to be my best relationship in my life and seems now to be horribly awful, and to try to make friends with a son-in-law when we don't like each other so far.
Wow. So a lot. A lot.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank
wave
you.
your
Thank
magic
you,
wand,
Edie.
fix me.
I don't know if we can fix you in an hour, but I hope you'll come away with some tools. So let's share a couple more whys, but keep it really to just a word or a sentence, please, of what your why is.
I can do my why is to keep harmony in the family as adults, respecting views without conflict. You
Mm.
know, children naturally just fight, fight, fight kind of thing. But as maybe we can do it as adults since we are supposedly adults.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah.
Mm.
Respecting views. And Bunny.
Do not want to feel on defense or hurt by
Mm.
statements people make.
Hmm. Hmm. How do you want to feel?
Just like when I walked in the door with a smile on my face and enjoying everybody.
Mm.
I know the
Thank
cast
you.
of characters are there, but
Mhm.
it always catches you off guard no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I think we can keep the why while we, keep it at hand. Like there's a reason we're doing this, right? So I want you to think of a situation, either in the past or something that you're expecting might happen in the future. And it doesn't have to be the exact situation. It could be like, well, this relative makes this type of comment again. But we'll make it a specific comment because you're going to have somebody role play that. Something that provoked a strong negative reaction in you, and you might be thinking, well, why would I put myself through that? Well, if you're trying to build strength, you lift a heavier weight than you would normally choose to, and your muscle breaks down and then it builds back stronger. So that's why you're putting yourself through this, to be able to exercise the muscles, slow down the interaction now, because in real life we don't get rewinds, pauses, and that sort of thing. But here we do. So we can lay down new neural pathways so that when it happens in real life, you will be better prepared. So think of a situation where somebody said something that really provoked you. And in I'm going to give you abbreviated version of this exercise. Imagine the part of you inside that's always wise, calm, and knowing. Can you feel that part of you? Like they might not always be accessible to you, but right now, imagine they're putting their hand on your back or shoulder, whatever would feel supportive to you, and they're saying, that part of you is saying to you, I'm here with you. We've got this. And see if you can anchor that, like with a touch to your shoulder or hand, wherever, even if it's just kind of holding your own hand, so that when that situation happens in the moment, you can feel that part of you supporting you. Okay. So does everybody have their situation, the provoking comment that you can use for this exercise? Okay. So we're going to pair up, and I'm going to have one of you follow the instructions I'm about to give you while the other simply witnesses, and then you'll switch. Holly, do you have that the list of these instructions from the last time by chance? Forgot about that. So while you're looking, I'll give the instructions. And so the exercise is that one of you is going to witness the other doing this, and then you'll switch. So here are the instructions. And you say, I was, and then you're in the context. I was standing by the hors d'oeuvres, and I heard Uncle Fred say, well, those young women had it coming. So whatever it was, right? And I'm filling in made up things here, but you'll have your own. I felt I felt my throat close up. I felt my shoulders go up to my ears. I wanted to run. Like whatever was happening for you, or slowing it down. I noticed myself wanting to punch Uncle Fred. or whatever it is. I noticed myself wanting to run away. I felt myself about to cry. So take your time and really let yourself be with what comes up in you when you hear this thing. And take your time. And if you notice yourself judging yourself, like, oh, that's just silly, or be with that. Let whatever is happening happen. Again, we don't get to do this in real life, but we do get to do it here. And I promise you it will help you when the thing actually happens. And then any thoughts or interpretations or evaluations, I told myself Uncle Fred is hopeless. I need to protect myself against Uncle Fred, whatever conclusions you have. So again, the context of what happened, I was standing at the hors d'oeuvres table. I heard or saw someone do or say something. I felt, and whatever you felt, and whatever you notice yourself wanting to do, and then any conclusions that you might have reached about the situation, about your actions in the future, and about Uncle Fred. Anyone have any questions about those instructions? And then the person
I,
that you're paired with,
I,
David.
can I ask, yeah, one quick question. Is there an implication that we might perhaps have responded in a different way, and that's why we're doing a do-over?
This is an opportunity to explore how we want to respond. And this is not the engagement part. So the
Okay.
engagement part will come next, where you
Got
actually
it.
say something to the other person. This is slowing down. So in real life, we don't get to slow down. Our reactions happen in an instant. But really, in that instant, what's happening are sensations that we usually don't get to notice. We reach a conclusion without noticing really how we got there, and then we react, we don't respond. So we're slowing down. It's like taking that situation and going frame by frame.
So, Jill, would it be easier for you to model it with somebody that knows what you're doing before we do it?
Sure. Hallie, do you want to go through this with me and I'll witness you? Like we'll pretend that we're um in the situation together, and you'll follow the instructions and I'll witness. Oops, you're on mute.
I'm actually trying to find them. I found two. Um,
You can copy and
so
paste into a Google Doc and share that if that's easier.
okay, I might do that. Um,
I
so
can do it. You want to do it?
why don't you do it?
You can continue with finding it, and I'll do it again with another situation. So let's pretend, Judy, let's pretend you and I are doing the exercise together. All right. And
Okay.
if you'd like, excuse me, why don't you go ahead and follow these instructions and I'll coach you as you go.
Okay. Okay. I was in a group meeting with several people. I heard a lot of grumbling amongst the group. One of them said to me that my view was not important. I felt hurt, and I noticed that I froze. I didn't know what to do, and it silenced me.
Can you go even deeper into feeling hurt and
Yeah,
frozen?
I
Any
felt hurt,
sensation?
alone, disrespected, unauthorized. I was the boss at the moment. And I felt it took my power away in that moment. And it was the kind of conflict that I had no idea how to deal with. Um, and let's see, uh, can I say later on I brought it up
Well, no, we're not
some more.
going into the just right
Okay,
now. Just
okay.
just what happened for you in that moment.
What
That's all.
happened for
That's all
me in
this.
that moment
Yeah,
was
did you tell yourself any conclusions or evaluations or form
uh,
any beliefs?
yeah, at the moment I felt crumbled,
Mm.
just crumbled. Um, and kind of had to walk away.
Thank you. Absolutely perfect. That is what this exercise is about. And the deeper you can go, the more you can excavate and notice, the more you'll have
Mm-hmm.
to work with. Okay. Any other questions about how to do this exercise?
I put in the comments links to what I'm really hoping is are the slides, Jill, that you're looking for.
It's just this one. Yeah. We don't want anyone to go further ahead
So
right
just the
now.
first one.
So we just want this first one. So if you happen to see the second slide right now, just ignore it. We'll come to it later. All right. So any other questions about this exercise before we go into breakout rooms? Okay. So Hallie's going to pair you up. And again, when it's your turn to talk, so take 3 minutes each and do just what I did and what Judy did. Think of the situation and follow the prompts. And Hallie gave you a link to the prompts because you won't be seeing this in the breakout room. And as the witness, just listen, don't give advice. You can ask, can you tell me more, or to deepen, but really just listen. And we'll give you a prompt when it's time to switch.
And I did it, yeah.
Ashish, do you want to say where your name and where you're calling in from?
Yes, I'm Ashish and joining from Chennai, southern India.
Wow.
And yeah,
Welcome.
and I was in a, thank you. I was in breakout room with Bunny, and unfortunately, Bunny couldn't finish her bit. Yeah, so
Oh,
sorry about that.
But we had the experience of him doing it, so that was good.
do you want to say any more about deep, Judy?
Edie has a lot of things to resolve and needs a lot of good skills to try to do it.
Hang one second. I forgot to say, let us speak only for ourselves.
Oh, I see.
So only to
Well,
your own experience.
I need more skills in how to and how to handle things that are seriously complex.
Yeah.
And where we tie ourselves up in knots about them, making it almost impossible to find resolutions.
Yes.
And sometimes my naive experiences have been, you just gonna have to like shed it and let it drop and start from some other purer place than the anxiety. And that's not easy, not easy at all.
It's not easy at all. And the language and the culture and so many things conspire to make it even harder. If we have time, I'll try to do one coaching session. If anyone wants to jump in the hot seat, and we'll delve into that further. But in the meantime, any other thoughts, reactions, responses, harvests?
I just want to reiterate that we're recording this session, but everything that happens in the breakout rooms is not recorded and is completely confidential.
Thank you. I don't see the little button that says that we're recording, so I want to make sure that we are.
It's on.
It is.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
good.
on.
Thank you. I don't know how come I can't see it. Any other thoughts on what just happened? All right, well, let's continue then. So
this is Edie. Thoughts about what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to that general format when you the situation, observation, sensation, interpretation, but that's when it's a specific time and place, as opposed to the story one tells someone about a lifetime pattern, or you always do blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot more complex to break it down for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. I'm screen sharing, but I don't see how to make this smaller. Wait a minute. Thumbnail. Okay. So part 2, we're going to do a do-over. It might not be a do-over if the situation hasn't happened. So it might be a fast forward, a rehearsal. So in this situation, your partner, instead of just witnessing, is going to be in the role of the person who said the provocative thing. And your job as the person doing the exercise is to remember your why why you're here in the first place. Take a deep breath. Let it fill your lungs, and then release it slowly. Feel that inner witness hand on your back or whatever gesture of support you installed for yourself at the beginning from your wise, calm inner witness. And then you're going to make a simple connected inquiry to the other person from that as calm of a place as you can, like the shortcut that we talked about at the beginning. Can you tell me more about that? Or what makes you say that? Or can you help me understand what that means? And again, one of the keys that we talked about at the beginning was to get curious in a way where you're not making the other person wrong, but you're engaging them in a way that moves the conversation forward. So, Hallie, can you be the guy at the hors d'oeuvres tables that says, "Well, those young women had it coming"?
Sure. So those youngsters, they all had it coming.
Mm-hmm. It feels important for me to get triggered for you to say the word women.
Okay. Okay. Those young women,
I'm coaching her how to be, yeah.
those young women, they all had it coming to them.
Okay. So I'm bringing my awareness to my reactions, just like I did in the first part of the exercise. And I'm remembering that I want to engage this person. So I took the breath. That gives me a moment to ground. Brian, I'm calling him. Can you tell me more about what you just said? What makes you say that? And then
Well,
she's
Go
going to continue in role, and I'm going to stay engaged as much as I can in a way that allows me to discover what is going on for him. So, what do we typically do in polarized conversations? We react, right?
You lock down your position and
Exactly. We lock down our position. This is a static interaction. Boom, boom, boom. Right. So instead, we're kind of softening and we're doing this. Tell me more. We're not judging. We're doing something really different. And it's going to feel different in our nervous system. That's why we want to practice. Anyone want to try that with me before we go into the breakout rooms? So anyone for whom this feels like just like impossible, like, oh my God, I can't do this.
A little bit.
All right, Bunny, let's do it. Tell me something to say that would get you really riled up, or something that someone has said in the past.
An untrue story from a child coming from another adult.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
So I don't know how to say it. An untrue story from an adult child that they got from another adult, therefore they think it's true.
Okay, so what are the words that would be said that you would hear that would cause the reaction in you? Because we want to help you do this exercise. And I'm going to play the part of the person saying them.
You made my dad's life very unhappy.
Oof.
You're the
Okay.
cause of all my dad's unhappiness.
You're the cause. Okay, so I'm going to say it, and then I want you to follow the instructions right here on the screen, okay? You made my dad's life very unhappy, and you are the cause of all his unhappiness.
So where am I supposed to take that from? Which line?
So I'm stepping
Line
out of the
3.
role. I'm going to coach you. You want to do it, Hallie?
I was going to say line 3. So take a deep breath.
Okay.
And do remember your why you're doing this. As you're releasing your breath, to feel that hand on the back of the inner witness. And then ask something that would further the conversation. You can use A, B, or C if you want, or you can come up with your own. I can do it again. You want me to say it again and let you?
What makes you say that?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So now, as this person, I feel let's continue it. Okay, we'll go to part 3. Why isn't this working? So continue it. I'm going to respond and roll. Okay. Can you say it again? What makes you say that?
What makes you say that?
Well, I just saw Dad reacting, and, he just seemed really unhappy. And I couldn't think of any other reason than, what you were saying and doing. And just keep with the questions. Tell me more about that.
Tell me more about what you think you heard.
Well, I just felt really powerless. I was young and I didn't know what to do. And I just felt really pressured to take a side, and I didn't know what to do. And so I took a side.
Well, because you weren't there, you don't know what was really going on.
That's true. I didn't know what was going on. So if you can, Bunny, stay with the other person's experience. Like, wow, that must have been hard for you.
So
Like,
that was
remember,
you hearing your dad say what he said.
yeah. So what we're tempted to do in these situations is to defend our side, to be right, to show the other person how they're wrong. This is something different. It's very understandable that you would want to do that, because who wants to be accused of something, right? And what you're doing right now is extremely difficult. Most people will not learn how to do this in their lifetimes. And that is why the world is in the state that it's in. So you are doing evolutionary work right now. I'm going to ask you to stick with it, even though it's really, really hard. I'm going to say the thing again, and I want you to keep asking me, what was that like for you? Wow, that sounds hard. And just stay in that role, even though part of you is screaming, you're wrong, you're wrong. Let me show you how you're wrong. Stick with it. I promise you, this is going to be worth it. Okay, let's try it again. But I just saw, you and Dad fighting. I just felt pressured to take a side.
What made you feel that way?
Oh, it was just so hard. Okay, if this happens, somebody breaks down, just be with them.
How
Just be with
tell
them.
me how
Just be
you're
with them.
feeling about that. Tell me in words.
Can't you see? I'm so upset. Can't you see? This thing might happen in a holiday, right?
How can I help you understand it?
So again, stick with her. Stick with the person. Just
Okay,
put her hand on your shoulder. Come here, sweetie. That was hard for you, I can tell. Come here.
I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. Come sit here and tell me about it.
Beautiful. Perfect, right? We unravel. We unravel the pattern. All right. We're running out of time. So let me explain this part too. It's a role play the rest. So the person whose turn it is, that's you in this case. You continue the conversation as a curious, open-hearted interviewer or supportive therapist or the Buddha, sincerely trying to learn more. What was that like for you? Oh, come here, sweetie. Let me, depending on the person. And so the point of this exercise is to bring curiosity, interest, and compassion to the other person in a way that helps them lower their guard, helps them connect with their heart. You're unraveling these habitual interactions, and you're opening up possibilities to really connect from the heart across what has previously been an insurmountable, intraversable bridge. All right, I am not going to pretend that this is easy, but if you remember these things, it can be simple and profoundly difficult. All right. So any more questions about that?
As you break that pattern and we go into the breakout rooms, I'll remind you a couple things. The first is that I see a couple people trying to take pictures of the screen. We'll send you the slides if you like, because this is very hard. The first couple times I did this, I listened to myself repeat the pattern over and over, and it was amazing to me, hearing someone else react differently and teaching myself to react differently. The second thing is that Jill's going to send out a 1 minute warning to switch sides. So if you're talking and you have your eyes closed or you're not looking at the screen, you might miss that. So make sure that you can see the screen
Or one of
that
you
says
can
that.
remind the
At
other.
least, yeah, at least one of you. And Edie, just to go back to what you were saying for a brief moment, especially if someone keeps saying, well, you always say this and you always say that, it's really hard not to react. But stay with what Jill is saying. Stay with tell me more about that. Tell me more about how I always do that. And put yourself in a very, very difficult position, but give it a try.
Thanks. All right.
All right.
We're
Ready
going to
for
give you
breakout rooms?
4 minutes each this time.
Okay.
Are you saying we're doing the same exercise, or you're giving us other stuff to do?
The exercise that I just explained, which Hallie will put in the chat for reference.
It's the second.
It's a 2-slide exercise. Hey, everyone. So let's take a share or two. Any responses? How was that? Was it difficult, impossible, easy, wrenching, joyful? What was that like?
It's hard. It's easier to watch you and somebody else model it than to do it ourselves, and we don't know the exercise that well, and getting used to the questions and answers.
Yeah.
That
Thank you.
sort of did it.
Yeah, it's hard to do in such a short period of time. It's kind of just gives you a bit of a taste of what it could be like to really practice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Judy,
Well,
were you about?
how
Go
do
ahead.
we express?
Somebody else starting.
I think it's sincere caring curiosity on my part,
Yeah.
but that was perceived as criticism or interrogation. And then over a time, over a few years, I did get to the point of being alarm scared and getting more critical or defensive.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, that can really
Said,
build
don't
on
ask
itself.
questions. Don't
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
questions. But ask yourself, what's about my behavior? But I'm not allowed to say, well, what behavior do you want from me?
Yeah, it's hard when you have years and years and years of a pattern that's entrenched. Because we only have a minute or two left, I want to cover a couple more things and then I'll stay on afterwards and ask any other additional questions or thoughts, and also share about the training that starts in February. So where are we? We did that. So let's try again in case you don't remember any of this. Let's try that shortcut of leaning in. Tell me more about that. Let's all do that together. Just lean in. Genuine, sincere, even if you're faking.
Yeah. Tell me more
Tell
about
me more
that.
about that. All right. So you can have that in your back pocket. If you're plotzing inside, if you don't feel like you can do it, just fake it. And that'll get you to it'll give you a moment to breathe and get to the next part of the conversation. And you will already have transformed what could be a more contentious dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Empathizing with the Enemy, the holiday version. There was an introduction, which I'm going to be revamping. There's one called Attunement. And if you like to geek out about what's underneath these things, there's one called Concepts, Models, and Philosophies, and we will email you about those. And then if you can take a minute, Hallie's going to put the link to the evaluation. That will really help us to keep improving these offerings.
And I know I put the link in the chat. One consistent thing that we always get is that they're very short. It's very hard to deal with these lifelong issues in an hour or 15 minutes in a breakout session. And that's kind of what the app is for. Either you coming and using it with the other person, or there will be lots of resources on the app for you to practice things like this.
Also, in the training, the conflict resolution coaches in training are going to need to practice. So we're going to practice with each other. So you'll get lots of free conflict resolution sessions. So we'll be quiet for a couple of minutes while you do the evaluation.
So you're supposed to click on that?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Hey there, how goes it?
I don't know how to do this.
When you get to how did you, oh, okay.
You just do the best you can. I can talk with you afterwards if you need some help.
Were we supposed to be able to type into something?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you aren't able to figure that out right now, it's okay. We'll send you this same link out in a follow-up, and you can take
Okay.
your time with it. So I'm going to go over some things really quickly while you're doing this. Oops.
There's some things that require typing in and other things that just require choosing a choice, making a choice.
So once you're done, I know we're at the hour. Some of you may need to leave. If you want to stay on, we can do more discussion, Q&A, and I can also tell you about the Mendful Conflict Resolution Coach training, which happens in February. And again, if this form is vexing you in any way, you can leave it and we'll send it out again and help you through it if you'd like. So while folks are finishing up the evaluation, if you have any other thoughts or questions about the work, now is the time.
Judy, do you know that at the bottom of your screen, if you move the cursor down, you'll come across and it says chat.
Yeah.
If you click on chat,
Uh-huh.
Hallie will have something that says HTTPS forms, and you click
Forms.
on that,
Oh, okay.
and that'll give you the evaluation form.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Edie. It was so clear.
Just to let everyone know, the evaluations are your name is not on them. They're completely anonymous. So if you want to talk to Jill separately, you'll need
It
to let
asks
her
you to
know
give
some
your
other
name
way.
several times.
I'm sorry?
The form I saw
I
at
took
the
a
very
look.
beginning it asks for the name, and at
me
the end it asks for the name.
They're optional questions.
The end of year work from the clients.
There's one that says this is a required question, and when I answered other, it still wants an answer.
Huh.
Which one is that?
How did you find out about the workshop?
You can just write me, Jill.
But you didn't give me any place to write it down. So how did you find out about it? The only one that came close was other, but there's
Yeah.
nowhere to write down your name or anything.
Huh. Okay. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
they won't let me submit it because of that.
We can look over your shoulder with that afterwards if you want to stay. Let me go over a few things with the core competencies immersion training. So this core competencies training is going to prepare Mendful conflict resolution coaches to staff the app. So in other words, the app that I showed you at the beginning, when you go onto the app and get a human to help you, this is the training that's going to prepare those humans. And it's going to be an accelerated alpha pilot training. That means it's going to happen fast. It's going to be low cost, and it's going to have a high level of evaluation and participation of the people who sign up for the training and participate in it. That means that these folks are going, this cohort is going to be very heavily involved in shaping the app and helping us evaluate the training itself, evaluate each other and the curriculum, because it's the first one we're doing. So if you want deep involvement and opportunity for leadership and you want to get involved on the ground floor of Mendful, this is the training. It's going to be 3 long weekends in Northern California, about 6 weeks apart, that start in early February of 2026. If you can't travel to Northern California, but you still want to participate, the best way to do that is to have other people where you are so that you can do the exercises with them. And we can talk about that. And I have the tentative dates up here. They're in February, March, and then end of April to beginning of May. And then in between those meetings, you will work together in groups of 4, mostly remotely. It's going to be about 5 hours per week to do the work and also weigh in on what other people are doing so we can help each other share best practices and elevate each other's expertise. We plan to soft launch the app in, I would say June is more realistic than May. And there's a link where you can see the full description of the training. Hallie, would you be able to put that link in the chat? So you can click on it to see all that's involved in the training. And we do have some credit/scholarship opportunities if you can't pay the fee for folks who know that they want to work on the app. So that is it.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you, everyone. And I'll stay on in case there's any more thoughts, questions, or you want to help completing the
Okay. Thank you.
evaluation. Thanks.
Jill, I don't know how this came into my life. It just popped up in my email. And I'm glad it did. And it's perfectly timed. And I need it. And I want to pursue it. I don't have money to travel. I don't have money to pay for what I presume is an app or a class. And I have a sense of urgency because I have a lot of medical problems that could kill me soon. And I want to resolve this, at least one relationship with one of my kids before I die. And have hopefully have that resolution be a positive impact rippling out in her other relationships, her husband, etc. So I have high need, high fear, high cost, and I had always assumed that we would be best friends as that very close adult mother-daughter, adult daughter-mother. So it's been shocking and horrifying for me to learn otherwise. And I'm wanting to make sure I'm doing everything on my end before I don't know that I can give up on her, but she gives up on people very quickly. And if my behavior doesn't improve to her satisfaction soon enough, she may never give me a chance again.
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
That's heartbreaking. I'm so sorry, Edie.
So to me, this is really important and urgent. And it's so important to resolve it with her that it's had precedence over my health and my trying to find housing. I'm going to be homeless next week.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's more important to have this relationship with her better. So
yeah. So Edie, I'm hearing the urgency in what you're saying. And I want to flag that we right now don't provide services that you're seeking. However, Joshua Coleman specializes in estrangement, and he does. And there are other folks out there who do provide those services.
So, so if I'm alive, February, March, April, May, I want to participate in this.
Okay.
Maybe have books ahead of time. So don't give me a scholarship if I'm dead, but if I'm alive and well,
Noted.
I want to be in line to do that.
Okay.
And
let me tell you how. Let me tell you how to do it. So you can fill out an application that you can find in the link that Hallie put in the chat, or will put in the chat. I can't see the chat, but did you already do that, Hallie? You're on mute.
Somehow I can't get on where you guys are, and I can't get off of Zoom either. And that, just so you know, this is funny. And the series workshop questionnaire is still up there.
So if you go down if you move your cursor down your screen,
Right.
Things will pop up that at first you don't see. Eventually, when you go down to the lower right hand corner, it'll pop up a picture of a white outlined man walking out
No,
of the
it
door.
doesn't. It still have to submit for the paper. And I can just wait and you guys can, when you zoom out. I mean, zoom me out when you close the Zoom, but otherwise, no, it won't let me submit. Like I said, because it shows that I'm missing on the other. There's nowhere to put it. I'm
Hey,
just,
buddy, if you have another minute or two, I can you can share your screen and we can look over your shoulder and help you submit it.
no, but
And
I can't get
Benny,
onto a screen with you guys. I'm not, yeah,
Benny,
happy to just let it go.
the
Go
first
ahead.
question where it says empathizing with the enemy, have you clicked that?
No, I can't get anywhere but the questionnaire. Mindful conflict resolution, the Hard to Repair series, 1 hour workshop. And then you have to fill out the evaluation, and it won't let me get out of there. And
Correct.
when I put
It's-
other, nothing else. And when I go to the bottom of the screen, the only thing that's there is submit, which it won't let me, or clear the form.
So on the first question above, how did you find out about the workshop? There's something called what workshop in this series are you evaluating today?
Let me
And it
see.
says empathizing with the enemy.
Which workshop in this series are you evaluating today?
Click
And
that.
emphasizing with the enemy.
And you clicked on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done everything right. And then how did you find out? I put other.
Okay.
Jill and I had talked, but there's nowhere to put in what other is. And it says this is a required question, and it won't let me move on, and it won't let
you
me.
can just change your response if you want. We'll know how you found out about it.
Okay, let me try that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get in the middle of
That's
important
okay.
conversation. Let's see if that works.
And so, Edie, the very last link that Hallie put into the chat is the link to the description of the Mental Immersion training. And that link goes to a page that has many different buttons where you can apply. Edie, did you catch all that?
Um, yes, I see Menful Core Competencies Immersion Training.
Yep, that's it.
But I'm not seeing, well, it says apply now for cohorts.
Yeah. Any of those buttons will take you to the application, but you might want to read about the training also before you apply.
Edie, I'm
Yeah.
also sending you a link in a private chat to Dr. Joshua Coleman's website that Jill just mentioned.
So it's running until you guys close this.
Ashish, I notice that you're still with us, and I'm wondering if you have any other thoughts or questions. I think you came from an NVC group.
I'm mostly listening to the conversation and trying to understand uh, the course and yeah, I did. Yeah, so it's my second year into learning NVC. Yeah, and
Would it be
attended.
helpful? I'm sorry, finish your thought.
Uh, yeah, I got introduced to NVC and soon I joined an IIT in India. That was last year. And yeah, the titles of your trainings, they were quite interesting. Like I was quite curious what this actually is about. So yeah, it was. This practice session today was quite valuable. Just the last thing that I would share is this morning I was in one of the practice groups and I did similar practice to what we did in a breakout. So that was quite a coincidence. I was happy about it.
Wow, that is a coincidence, huh?
Indeed, yeah.
Ashish, I'm wondering if it would be useful to you for me to address the question of the similarities and differences between
Mm.
NVC and the Menful training.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. So I took NVC mediation, and I had a year-long program in 2009, and I also worked with John Kenyon and Ike Lassiter before that doing NVC mediation. I found it to be a very powerful process, and it's one of the cornerstones of Mendful training is NVC
Right.
mediation.
Okay.
However, in addition to that basic NVC mediation training, we also use somatic or body-based processes, some of which you saw today, like attending to the breath
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
sensations and so on. NVC doesn't work so much with sensations as they do with feelings. I think sensations are sort of like a precursor to feelings in a way. So we definitely work with that. I also teach NVC as a practice of what I call internal reference. Internal reference has to do with getting underneath the languages of external reference. It's different in different languages. In English, forms of the verb to be are the primary vehicle of external reference. And that happens to map onto evaluations, interpretations, judgments, and so on that NVC seeks to replace. However, for my purposes, for our purposes at Mendful, NVC does not go far enough into internal and external reference, into that distinction. So at Mendful, we expand the teachings around internal and external reference, and we teach NVC as a linguistic practice of internal reference. We also teach the rest of the context to help the distinction between internal and external reference make sense, so that the Mendful conflict resolution coaches can use that more effectively with their clients, help them get more internally referenced so they can resolve their conflicts even better. And I just encapsulated something that's actually much bigger. So I'm happy to talk with you about it more. I'm happy to send you some articles and so on.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. That would be great.
Me
Thanks,
too.
Katie.
Wait, who said that?
Edie, me too.
Okay, Edie, you too. All right. I can send out a whole thing on that. Yeah, thank you. Because it's an interesting, and also
Yeah, 'cause
if you come to the concepts, models, and philosophies workshop, we go into that pretty deeply. It's not participatory so much like this workshop. It's more didactic and let's talk about what we just learned rather than let's practice the skill, because it has to do with the background of what we teach at Mendful.
Do you also have a feminist, anti-racist kind of perspective? Because
Oh, hell
we
yeah.
have myths about mother-daughter or good boys don't cry or whatever, and
Absolutely.
that is imposing on people without them even being aware of that cultural bias or whatever.
Which part? Not having that or having that?
Both. I mean,
So,
NVC alone doesn't always get to what's the underlying real conflict. Capitalism is screwing everybody, and we're in a rat wheel with it, or whatever.
yeah. So here's Mendful's stance on doing social activism on the app. And this is very personal for me because before this, I was doing white anti-racist leadership training. Uh, we will not be teaching social activist concepts per se on the app. However, all of the teachings, all of the Mendful teachings provide foundational skills that we think are useful for any kind of positive world change. And there will be people on the app with particular focuses. For example, I'm talking with a white anti-racist leader right now who wants to take the Mendful training So remember I showed you how the coaches on the app can have their own niche platform or focus of who they work with? Well, this person wants to work with white people who are interested in exploring racial issues. So she's going to bring her background and her knowledge. This will help her. However, the focus is on conflict resolution. And so, for example, let's say that person just gets picked out of the blue to do a conflict resolution with someone. She's not going to bring that agenda into the conflict resolution if that's not what the issue is. So it's nuanced. We want people of all backgrounds. We want conservative and liberal and Ashish, you're raising your hand.
No, please finish. I'll come back to.
Yeah, so we want people of different religious backgrounds. So the app itself and the company itself, Mendful, is not going to have a bias for or against particular viewpoints, but rather teach skills that help us get underneath the positionality of those viewpoints to create a better world for everyone. Does that clarify things, Edie?
Yes.
Ashish, did you want to say something?
Right, this is quite interesting, and thanks for sharing this information. So I serve as a religious worker as well as community worker over past 10 plus years. So yeah, would like to really find out how this can help in social activism, though you have already shared that it's not necessarily directly uh, helping people, but in a way you're equipping them for social activism of their
Exactly.
own niche. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of social activism takes place with sort of polemical stances, and sometimes that could be useful or appropriate. But this training helps people to connect with people from the heart, which we've seen can be more transformational in certain circumstances. So it's 24 minutes after the hour. And unless there's anything burning, well, I think we'll close. Anything else last minute that folks want to? Bunny, if you're still there, we can. Did you? I don't know, Bunny, if you were able to.
I'm
finish.
not on the computer, but yeah, I can't get out of your Zoom.
Oh, you don't have to. We're about to close it.
Okay, yeah, since I can't get out of it. I can't get on it. I can't get out of it.
You can always X out. If there's an X in the upper right hand corner
Nope,
and there's
it
an
wouldn't
X.
let me do anything.
Odd. Okay.
And you're not even on the screen now, but obviously your voice is still there.
Well,
But
thank
yeah,
you, everyone. Thank you,
I,
everyone, so much. And you know where to find me
okay,
if
thanks,
you need
Jill.
me, right? And see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks, Jill.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ali.